loving the life. This is not just a game. This here is my life. But the camera's on me, yeah. Put the cameras on me, ladies and gentlemen. Big shout out to Young Twizzy Twitch for the jam. And we're live in Koreatown on the OZone. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Omar Miller. I'm happy to be back in the States. I'm feeling jazzy. The jet lag is worn off. I'm here with my brother from the same mother, Terry Miller. Icons, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm back in full effect.
Oh, I hear it.
Let's do it.
I hear it. That's in the words of Mills Lane. Let's get it on because we have a special guest, ladies and gentlemen. I made a heavy call today. Yesterday,
you went large.
Yesterday, they supersized me.
You supersized.
I've been eating good, and I said, you know what? In honor of the premiere of Ballers, I wanted to get a special guest on air, and I brought in Golden Globe nominee and winner. Ooh. But I did bring in the nominee.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Also known as Jason Ancelotti on the show Ballers, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Troy Garrity.
Hey. Yes, sir.
Super fan of the LA Dodgers and an LA All-Star. I'm here to tell you, I've been here and I've done that, and this guy knows what he's talking about. So we got a big show for you with the special guest. Troy, how you feel?
I feel good. I got no jet lag.
You got none?
I'm glad my busy schedule could allow this last-minute request.
This is why it was a big call. I didn't know if you were going to be available.
I'm a big fan of the Miller boys, so, I'm here.
We appreciate that.
See that? The support is real.
It is real.
It's real. Well, we're going to be fans of a great conversation today. I got a lot to cover. And in the next hour or so, folks, we're going to cover a lot of stuff. We got a big fight this weekend. Adrian Broner and Mikey Garcia mixing it up at 140. We got the LA Dodgers have the best record in baseball. I think the reason that Troy wanted to come on was just to debate with the icons about predictions that were made early on in this season.
A little salt in the wound,
It's a little salt.
Okay, it's early.
It's early. We're going to see. It's not that early.
Season's young still.
It's not that early anymore.
Not that young.
Yes, man, it ain't that young.
What is it?
It's middle age. It's about 48.
People getting back pains. We're that far into the season.
I want to talk about the NBA. A lot of action in the NBA. We got Michael Orr in the NBA, meaning Kyrie Irving with the blindside movement.
That's what's up.
Wow.
Derrick Rose to Cleveland.
Derrick Rose to Cleveland. We got that. We want to talk about that. I want to talk about something that we hadn't talked about in a while, which is an update on LeVar Ball and his kids. Because I have a take on it that I know a lot of people disagree with.
Are these bullet points or are we jumping into conversation?
No. These are bullet points. We're just letting the audience know what's coming.
Letting them marinate.
We got to tease, a little bit of tease. And next to the stage, Diamond. You don't give it all to him. Just a little taste. Okay. Just a little taste. And we want to tie that in with O.J. Simpson in America, ladies and gentlemen. The juice is
loose.
Almost loose. Almost. I would love to know.
He'll be out for Halloween.
Oh, too soon.
Just in time.
OG. So where are we going to start, folks? Let's start with our favorite sport.
Baseball.
Oh, let's do it. Let's start with Major League Baseball. Let's get it out
all day.
Well, we got some serious stuff happening. We got the greatest pitcher of all time, arguably, that just got hurt yesterday.
All time?
One of.
Yeah, no doubt.
We call him the GOAT. What are you talking about?
Sure.
Why are you saying like you're surprised?
I mean,
we call him the GOAT.
Time. He is the greatest of this era.
That's what I mean. Of course.
Okay.
I'm trapped in the moment.
Okay.
You put the cameras on me. Yeah,
No. You could put him in top 10 all time.
Warren Spahn?
The problem is
Warren Spahn.
Problem is that when
Satchel
you go
Paige?
when you go
Satchel Paige?
Leroy.
We're talking about all of them.
But I need a ring when you go all time. Realistically. And I don't need just regular season dominance.
No, I can't do that because the pitchers only pitch once every 5 days?
Yeah.
We can't put that on the pitchers.
I
just heard somebody talking about, because Clayton Kershaw is hurt, that, the Dodgers realistically, their wins aren't that much different when he pitches and doesn't pitch. And when he does pitch, they play better defense. I'm like, come on, man. That's ridiculous.
But these are new statistics, though, because last year when he pitched,
statistics are lying.
They only, earned him 1 run or 2 runs, and he
this was his problem for his whole career.
But he doesn't have run support.
But this season is different. This season, the seeds have germinated, and Stan Kasten's master plan is starting to starting to grow up.
Seems
a little
like
bit. Yeah, for sure.
Seems like it. The
Exactly
Dodgers
what he
in effect
did.
mode.
Exactly what he did in Atlanta, and this isn't like short term. This is post Clayton Kershaw. This is like
Right.
we're
Yeah.
in about entering a real 10-year period of dominance.
And
And by
now-
the way, we've been dominant for about 5 years too. We just haven't.
Well, that's not dominance though. They haven't sealed the deal.
Well, no, but
when you
there's
want a
little-
dominatrix,
no. But like if St. Louis doesn't break Hanley's rib, we're in the World Series.
I
We
agree
win
with that. I
There-
do
but
agree
that's
with that.
Things
baseball.
like that. And that's baseball, and that's why we love the sport.
Yeah.
They love the sport. And not only did they break his rib, St. Louis was the actual team that had Clayton Kershaw's number.
yes.
No
they
doubt.
They were the one guys, and I'm somebody who has always defended Clayton Kershaw,
Yeah,
even in the
me too.
postseason, because realistically, there's only about 2 games that he had that were bad games.
And not even don't say bad games, bad innings.
He had about 2 bad innings that
Bad
really.
innings.
doubt.
And he's
Yeah.
trying to carry the whole team, the whole organization. And I hear people say, "Oh, Madison Bumgarner." Madison Bumgarner had a complete squad. He had Kung Fu Panda who picked him up.
Yeah.
The Dodgers never had anybody like that to pick Clayton Kershaw up in the
That's
big
right.
time
I agree
situations.
with that.
That's what's up.
Even though Madison Bumgarner did go unhittable, he did go John Smoltz, Jack Morris on you. So,
Yeah, he did. He did.
You
But
know.
but Kung Fu Panda hit what 3 bombs off of Justin Verlander in his prime.
You can't
Yeah.
really argue that. I mean, Bum is that Giants team was just a
Monster team.
fantastic team.
I just feel like
all
they were just
3
Here's the
years
thing,
of it.
Yeah.
But if we're talking Clayton Kershaw and people say, well, he's not GOAT because he chokes in the postseason.
I don't
the
believe
truth
that.
of the matter is his numbers in the postseason are, they're sub 2 ERA.
Yeah, it's still not.
He
It's still
just
not.
has a couple of bad innings, and that's because
and it's the 7th inning
Yes.
every time.
Yeah.
But it's not even. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
So that
You know who I blame?
Who?
The coaches.
But okay, but let's talk about where we are now. Dave Roberts, before I came in right now. Dave Roberts was on TV talking strong. He goes, well, basically Clayton Kershaw, he got hurt. I don't know how long it's going to take us, but we play well when Kershaw's better. Obviously, we're better when Kershaw's in with the squad, but with not. Guess what? We're still going to win a lot of games.
Yeah.
Dave Roberts has full confidence in the Dodgers. I heard him talking slick before the All-Star break about how they're the best team in all of Major League Baseball, in the National League.
was great saying.
And he just speaks very confidently, and I like that
No
as a
doubt,
manager.
but I love he does, and obviously the players are responding. It's not just
Yes.
it's not just his words that carry confidence.
Yeah.
It's his being in that clubhouse. They really respect
And he's a
him.
winner.
It's obvious that the guys are having a fun time. I haven't seen so many Dodgers swinging power bats in 20 years.
Dodgers are
25
going
years.
deep.
Yeah,
The Dodgers Stadium, I think, is the Homer Dome now, and that's unheard of in our lifetime.
Yeah,
right.
no,
it's hard to get the ball out of Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, no, they're having fun. They're like they calling it in the dugout. that
Yeah, but
going
they have a lot of. I mean, there's a couple pieces that I could do without, like Logan Forsythe and Chase Utley.
Logan's a rock. Like he made the numbers and might
You
not
have-
pop off the page, but that dude's winning games for you.
Well, let me ask you to riddle me this, Batman. Why aren't they bringing up that kid that's in the minor leagues, Calhoun, who's got 22 bombs as of today in AAA?
Because
They're talking about trading him.
Because he got 22 bombs in AAA.
Yeah, but that was the same thing with Bellinger.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's the same thing with Bellinger and Seager. They were doing the same thing.
That's okay. But if we, you can go eat your steak at Sizzler. I'm gonna go have my steak at
Mastro's?
Mastro's.
You need a Mastro's? You know where I'm going to go? I'm
Prime
going to
112.
Prime. I'm going to Prime 112.
Why you gotta go to Prime?
I just
No,
got
you know
shout out
what?
to Miles.
You got Logan Forsythe's a journeyman. You know what he's going to give you every year. You stick with it, and that pays off. Other than that, what were you going to do? You're going to start the year with a rookie second baseman.
Why
Well,
not?
well, what I would have did realistically,
Terry.
You gotta give him a chance.
what I would
I
have
love
did,
bringing up the kids.
what I would have did,
What would
is
you have done?
I would have let Howie Kendrick actually play second
Yes.
base. Is what I would have done.
Yeah, all right. Well, whatever.
I'm putting that out there.
And Howie was swinging it before he got hurt in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
Howie-
Howie. I just don't know why they determined that Howie's a journeyman.
And-
I
oh,
don't
why
know.
he's a left fielder.
You know what I mean? That's what I mean. That's what I mean. All of a sudden,
well, that's when this, the stats just start to kill you.
Yeah, but that's when, they say, okay, well, we want Chase Utley here, and Chase Utley can't play any position besides second or first, because he's lost his range. Chase Utley's a stud, though. He's got a short swing. He can hit the ball.
but Chase Utley hurt the team last year.
Yeah, he sure did.
He hurt the team last year because that 203 and ultimately Dave Roberts hurt the team because his sub 250 batting average in the leadoff slot wasn't getting it done. I needed Toles, Andrew Soul brother Toles, to be up there.
What's going on with Toles right now? Toles
he got
wasn't-
hurt. He
ACL.
tore his
Jason
ACL.
sure did, right?
Yeah.
He's out for the year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he's
hanging
down
out
there
with me
with
with that
Willie
bum
Calhoun.
knee. He is. So we talking.
Why you got to bang on Willie? Willie, nice, man.
So we're talking about the Dodgers. We're talking about Major League Baseball. What do you think the Dodgers do now? Do you feel like the Dodgers need to make some moves at this trade deadline, or do you ride with the team that they have now and think they can ride that to the ring?
It's a really tough call. If I was management, I'd be trying to get an innings eater of a pitcher.
You want an innings eater? What's wrong? What about you, Darvish? That's what they've been trying to.
Yeah, but I don't want to.
A rental?
If the price is right, that's fine.
They're going to give up Calhoun.
A new car.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to give up Calhoun. Willie.
Yeah, okay, fine. I give up Willie Calhoun for Darvish, but my issue is I don't have the faith in the pitching to get us that far. I'm a firm believer in Alex Wood. I was
high on him last year because you know what? When he was on the Braves, he was good.
Well, no.
It seemed like he had a mechanical problem that messed him up last year.
I think he was tipping pitches.
He came out of the gate in Atlanta very strong.
Yeah.
ROI, Cy Young consideration. He got injured. And when you get injured as a pitcher, it throws off your mechanics, and it could be a while to find that, and it could be a while to come back. Especially if you're a pitcher, it can be a while to come back from that injury. And I think he's feeling confident in his body.
Yeah, but when
he's always had great stuff.
But when he wasn't hurt, though, I believe he was tipping his pitches more so than anything because he's always.
They jumped on him.
Yeah, that herky jerky motion that he has, and he has great deception, and he had decent stuff, above average stuff. With that combination, it's hard to hit.
We call that passion.
Oh, that's
he throws with a lot of passion, a lot of veracity.
Okay.
I called it seasoning sauce because he put a lot on it.
I love the kid when they were like, do we think we need to trade for a number 2? And he was like, I'm your number 2. You go find a better number. Go find a number 2 with better numbers than me. And it's hard to argue with that.
What do you feel about Rich Hill?
I like Rich Hill. Again, I don't trust Rich Hill. I wasn't a fan of
Too many blisters.
Welcome to the Ozone, ladies and gentlemen, where we keep it 100. I feel the same way.
Look, I think he's a gamer. I love his mentality, but you don't have a mediocre career, disappear to Japan for a couple years, and come back an ace. Listen,
at 38 or whatever it is that he is.
Listen, it can happen, and more power to you, and that's all good. But, if a blister is a blister is a blister. So what are you going to do? I can't trust that.
Right.
I can't trust the blister, and I also would have never gave him that kind of dough.
Here's what's up. There's a lot of nepotism in the
world?
In the not only in the
entertainment
White
business?
House, but in the Blue House. They've hired a lot of ex-Tampa Bay and Oakland.
Yeah, Friedman has definitely made his move there.
Like these are reclamation projects that obviously a while ago they bet their reputations on. So when I play fantasy baseball, I'd be like, I know that this is the year that Dan Ugla comes back. You know what I'm saying?
Dan is the homie.
Dan, by the way.
Right.
Dan, but Dan wouldn't go
to right.
You want to hear a great story?
No, I don't.
Listen. Let me just tell you a quick story. So, Dan Ugla, it was a monster when he first came out.
Yeah. So I signed him every year.
So we ran into Dan in Chicago. I was promoting a movie called The Express. In Chicago, we go to Hugo's Frog Bar, which shares a kitchen with Gibson's.
Right in the Viagra Triangle.
Yeah, there it is. And so we go in there. We're eating a prime rib that's about as big as this table. In walks Thunder Dan Ugla. We see him. I was like, oh, wow, it's Dan Ugla. Now, he had just made those errors in the All-Star game that year at Yankee Stadium that cost the National League the game. Then he saw us and had love. He was like, hey, what's up, man? Real cool country kid. We chopped it up with him. We had some food. We had a couple drinks. He was like, man, y'all want to go to the game tomorrow? We were like, yes, we do. The Marlins were playing the Cubs. It was all good. He gave us great seats, blah, 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 blah. We hung out with him and his boy and his brother, right?
Uh-huh.
No, I think it was his brother, but we hung out with him and his boy for sure.
And remember, you were talking to
his brother. I was talking to his brother. And we hung out with him and his boy and his brother. He gives us the tickets. We're sitting right behind home plate. His brother is like, man, Dan, if he would just, Dan, he's got so much power. He's got so much skill. I said, I know, but he won't go the other way. If he would go the other way, he'd be right back to foreign, blah, blah, blah.
Well, talk to him, man. Talk to him and tell him.
That's what his brother said. His brother's like, you should tell him. I tried to tell him before. He doesn't want to hear it from me. I said, cool. After the game, we hang out. They got a 3-game set. After the game, we hang out. We go connect. We get something to eat. We go out and about. Dan's like, what'd you think about the game? I was like, it's a good game, man. You got good swings. I was like, man, I thought you had that one. You could have got it out if you'd have went the other way. I was like, truth be told, if you went the other way in general, they couldn't hold you. Oh, yeah?
Crickets.
Never heard from Dan Ugla again until about 8 years later. And now Dan's my man again after he's out of the league. So he's somewhere tearing up. He's tearing up the rec league actually right now, pulling everything. Anyway, sorry, I cut your story off.
No, it's all good. And my point is that you can fall in love with your past projects and not sort of evolve. And I feel like the Dodgers are slightly guilty of that.
I
and
agree.
they employed this sort of, they hired all these ex-Angels and Tampa Bay pitchers and a couple Brave pitchers who all showed promise of excellence, and then injuries or something derailed them. And I think their strategy was, look, we get 10 of these guys on very low, salary deals. 1 or 2 of them is going to pay off. And it sort of has in sort of a quilt work way. Kazmir had some good innings. McCarthy's been amazing. Rich Hill has panned out amazing.
Avalon?
McCarthy now is really showing his color. The thing about it that I think that they've done really well, and Dave Roberts in particular has been good at this, is that they've managed...
By the way, what up, McCarthy? He's got a good Twitter handle.
Does he?
Yeah, he's a savage on Twitter. He's really
good to know.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is...
McCarthy something. I don't
is it
know.
66 or something?
He's hilarious.
But
that's
what they...
Puig.
Oh... But what they've done is they've managed that 10-day DL better than anybody in baseball.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And Dave Roberts, just like last year when he was using the bubble gum and duct tape to put the team together through all the injuries, this year they've helped him out with that, with the 10-day disabled list. Now, to me, what the Dodgers got to do, the Dodgers bullpen is back together. They got rid of Joe Blanton, so thank God for that.
They got rid of Romo.
They got rid of... You know what? This made me think the Dodgers might actually go to the World Series. You can't win a World Series with a guy like Romo, this version of Romo on your team. Last year, when the San Francisco Giants actually had a chance to beat the Cubs, they bring in Romo. Romo gives up the game-tying run and is laughing on the mound.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan.
I was like, what's going on? What's funny about that?
Ain't nothing funny about that. And truth be told, I would say the only player that the Dodgers have ever done the reclamation on from the Giants that actually panned out was Juan Uribe.
Jeff Kent, a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Jeff Kent ran Vin Scully into the ground, and that just messed up the chemistry completely in the clubhouse.
Yeah, and everyone just hates Jeff Kent.
This is what I'm saying. He's Jeff Kent.
He's like that cop that always gives you a ticket.
You won't let me slide.
What? Man, I just saw you yesterday.
Can't take you serious with that mustache.
Can't take you serious with the porno mustache. You look like Peter North, player.
Give me the Village people.
So we got that. Who do the Dodgers face in the National League Championship Series is what I want to know.
Troy?
Oof. They face the Nationals.
You think it's the Nationals?
Yeah, without a doubt.
I think the Central has a lot to say about that.
And you can never rule out St. Louis ever.
Ever. And the Cubbies are pulling it together.
And the Cubs.
Pittsburgh's not serious because Starling Marte isn't going to be able to play come playoff time.
Yeah,
they've been winning
for the
without
juice.
him, though.
No,
and
they
the Cubs will come together. Baseball, because the season is so long, it's really a mathematic sport. The averages pan out, right?
Yeah.
There's so much
Yes.
talent
Yes.
and numbers on the Cubs that eventually that will come together, it'll click, and they will hit their seasonal averages, which places them into the playoffs.
I disagree for the simple fact with Kyle Schwarber is going to bring that team down.
You think?
Because he's batting like $190 still.
Kyle Schwarber is the best problem a team can have. Let me tell you
Wow,
something.
that's a great way to put it.
Yeah, but Kyle Schwarber, they like to use him in leadoff sometimes. They dropped him down to the 5-hole, and he just doesn't. It seems like he's a great guy or whatever, but he doesn't play the game the right way. I mean, you watch him take pitches he'll roll over on pitches away because he's trying to jack everything. Go with the pitch, man. Go with the pitch because in big time situations, and Javi Baez as well. Yeah. And I love Javi Baez, but Javi Baez won't make the adjustments.
Look, man, but trees don't make a forest. You know what I'm saying? Like,
wow. What makes a forest?
That was deep.
It's a team, Holmes. Like
a group of trees.
Yeah, that's a forest. You got Bryant, you got Rizzo, you got
Contreras.
I know you got a nice thing for
Ben
Contreras.
Zobrist.
Yeah,
Ben Zobrist.
Yeah,
and you got
plays within himself.
And you got the homie in center.
You got the homie John Jay in center.
John Jay is due.
Yeah. He's been doing it.
We want the afro back, though.
No.
He's been...
John Jay ain't getting no ring till the afro is back. Bring it back.
You put the curse on him.
Bring it back.
Why you put the curse on him?
Bring it back. Grow it out.
Don't put the curse on him.
We need that Cocoa Puff.
Man, it's too hot for it. It's too hot for the fro.
Not soon. No, man. Let's get, please.
Well, so I'm interested to see what happens. I'm interested to see what happens with the Astros because, truthfully, the Astros starting pitching is not holding up to their end of the bargain right now, but they're just pounding people into submission.
and good pitchers. The reason
Yeah,
why the
it's a great
Astros can,
team.
the
It's a
reason
great
why
team.
the Astros can beat anybody, even a Clayton Kershaw type of player, is because of team speed. There is no answer for speed. And Clayton Kershaw doesn't walk anybody, but infield singles. Everybody on their team, I would say that at least 7 batters out of their whole lineup had speed. And they can beat out infield singles. Infield singles make pitchers get into the stretch. When they're in the stretch, they're not
You know
the same
what beats
pitcher.
speed?
What?
On base percentage.
That equals.
That's Dodgers.
Mm.
I don't care if you have speed, you got to get on base.
But that speed,
The
that team
Dodgers
speed gets
strategy-
you on base.
No.
Yeah.
No. It's taking walks, it's singles, it's home runs.
And that's what the Astros
That's
do.
money ball. What? Google it. Google best on base percentage in baseball. Dodgers are on base machines.
Dodgers on base and they go deep.
Yeah.
That's what the Dodgers do. The Dodgers will give you a great mix of
you know
American
why?
and National League
The
baseball.
Astros are winning right now.
You know why they're going deep too? Because you get men on base and pitchers bug out. I was a pitcher.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got guys on
Pressure.
second.
Well, but you know what?
And I got to
right
hit
down
that
the middle.
strike.
Yeah.
And Corey Seager's like, I want that first strike.
I've been waiting on that. Yeah.
So-
The Astros, no, I'm telling you. There's no team in baseball better than the Astros. The Astros are a complete squad. And they're talking about
Terry,
Jim
let
Darvish
me ask you
with
something.
Keuchel.
Let me ask you something.
I'm bitter.
When the Angels decided to change their name to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, you were with it.
I was totally against it. I would never.
Okay, that's what I'm
I would never be down with something like that.
The contrarian in the room right around now.
All the time.
I would never.
All
I
the
would
time.
never be
I
down
mean-
with the Angels being the
I'm like,
Los
man,
Angeles
Terry,
Angels.
the Dodgers are looking good. I don't know. I don't know.
They're 162.
Colorado, you know.
Colorado's making moves right now. Colorado, if they get him a pitcher, they get him a pitcher.
Great squad. Their window closes in September and it won't open again for 10 years.
Wow. For 10 years.
You
they
put
got a
dime
young
on them.
squad.
You put
they have a young
They
squad
have a
over
crazy
there.
young squad. That's the reason why they're faltering right
Cargo
now
will
because they
be
have young
gone.
pitchers. But Cardinals not doing anything now.
Yeah, he's not the key to the equation.
Arenado's going to come up for a re-up soon.
And they're going to pay him.
And they're going to pay him.
He might be the best player in all baseball.
Yes.
Yeah, you think he wants to stay in Colorado?
Why wouldn't he?
They brought him up.
Because I want some pinstripes on me if I'm Arenado.
Hey, man. And Arenado.
I want
now.
some pinstripes in my
I
bank
want to
account
be
if
over
I'm
there. I want to
Arenado.
be Arenado, and I'll be looking over at Aaron Judge, and I'll be like, me and you are going to get a lot of rings together.
Amongst
goodness.
other things,
Yeah.
you'll get a lot
Yeah.
of. Now, tell me this: do you feel like
Yeah.
because this guy, speaking of the contrarian, he just when I walked in the room, he was trying to talk Ernie up on how Aaron Judge is the worst player in baseball.
Right.
I did not make that statement. I'm reading an article. Let me point it out to you.
Fake news.
You can dance, you can fly.
You're reading TheRinger.com.
This is what I'm saying. That's what I
Aaron
said.
Judge has
That's
become the
what I
worst
said.
player in baseball.
And right
Aaron-
now, he's going to give you the Trump. He's going to say, I didn't say it. I'm reading what the Ringer said.
That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm reading it off of the Ringer. I'm reading statistics. I'm not making nothing up. This is not fake news. These are statistics.
Wow.
Did you collude with the Russians or not, Mr. Miller? That's what I want to know.
I plead the fifth.
Oh, we got him. Troy, we got him.
Don't do drugs. Stay in school.
And if you do crime, do white collar crime.
That's what's up.
Woo, I'm sweating in here like
Yeah.
a hooker in church. It's burning up under the lights. But the camera's on me. Yeah. And you're rocking a hoodie like it's not even hot. I'm impressed. We didn't have any water for him?
Yeah, well,
I got water.
Oh, you got one. You just kept it off the table. Oh, impressive.
Nice.
Professional.
Pro
work.
move.
Excuse me.
I like that.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse
Come
me.
on.
Anywho, so that's what we're looking at. I got a question for you. Give me your favorite fantasy player right now on your team. What first and foremost, what place are you in fantasy? Next question.
You better say first.
Well, I stopped playing fantasy this year.
What?
Yeah, I did.
Blasphemy.
I can't believe I invited you on the show.
No, well, I'm still following it because none of my friends would play with me. And
Why didn't you call us?
Yeah.
I did.
When?
No love. No, last year. And I got tired of playing with strangers because they either
it is-
quit
yeah.
or they just crazy. I mean, they voted for Trump. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And it's hard to roll with
and so,
anybody that does
when
something like that. You're
when
like, you play too much.
Yo, when you play fantasy baseball with strangers, first of all, this is a demographic that plays fantasy baseball with strangers. You know what I'm saying? So the odds that you're going to get some spoiled grapes are pretty high. And I always was in those groups, and I always did very well. My favorite this is how I played fantasy. I would draft players that hit in the 1 to 4 spots in the lineup.
Okay.
And I liked I valued runs, highly.
Really?
Yeah, because players that would get on base and score a lot of runs tend to be in the action a lot more.
And that happens in the top of the lineup most of the time.
Right, like little shorty on the
Altuve?
Astro. Yeah,
Who just got a base knock to score 2 runs?
Right,
That I'm looking at right now.
That's my man. He gets on, he makes things happen, he steals those bases, he gets those points. So and anyone that can score 20 bases and score over 100 runs is someone that I always put on my team.
Whatever happened
You
to
want
the
George
art
Springer
of the
then?
stolen base?
Huh?
You want George Springer then?
Yeah, I want George Springer. I love those guys, and I loved
tonight.
like the Carlos Peñas, the massive like.
You love Carlos Pena?
Yeah, because you get like
A lot of swing and
damn, I'm
miss.
getting 0, 0, 0, and then all of a sudden you get 45 points in a day.
But you don't know when you're going to get that 45. He's so inconsistent.
Yeah, but you get him at the end of the draft. That's value. Like he'll
Yeah.
outplay his.
Man, I
draft
know
zone.
somebody. Matter of fact, Bobby Cannavale said he got Aaron Judge at the last pick in his draft.
That's what's up. So and here's the other thing I would identify is players that are approaching 1,000 at bats.
Mm-hmm.
They tend to be the ones that are gonna. It's not your. Those are the players that are statistically are looking to have a breakout.
You know who's supposed to statistically have the breakout are the 27-year-olds as well.
Well,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
no, they're in their physical prime.
Yeah, 27,
Yeah,
28
but
year olds.
but
That's
they
when
have the breakout.
that's when
though.
that's when they have their numbers. But those guys facing 27, their value has probably already been identified. I'm talking about guys like
Sleeper cells.
yeah, I'm talking about like dudes that have played and they put up 15 home runs and 15 stolen bases, but they've only been in they've only had, you look closely and it's like, oh wait, they did that, but they only had 400 at bats.
You're talking about somebody like Tommy Pham right now.
So you get like,
What's up, fam?
What's
so
up,
you're
fam?
like, oh, this dude's got 400 at bats, so no one's paid any attention to him. He's gone under the radar.
Right.
But that general manager paid attention. They're going to move him up in the order. You give this dude 600, 500 at bats. All of a sudden, we're talking about a 20 player, 15, 30 player, something
Right.
like that, and that's where I would win.
So you got a formula.
That was my formula. Yeah.
I'm impressed.
And I would do it. And I would have my tier system forever.
Really?
Yeah, and then I would.
Troy's a very, very organized, methodical guy.
I see that.
Yeah.
And he's that way with the work. He's that way with, most importantly, with a good travel list. You want a Monster City travel list?
Yeah, I like doing that too. But see, the fantasy baseball was messing up my life.
I'm
Like,
sure.
my office,
Because his research
I
is
had-
real.
I had like charts and charts and charts and charts, and it was like, if this player goes, then this is who I grab, and then this is who I identify next, and blah blah blah.
Wow.
And if I went off plan, I would immediately start sweating, texting people like, who do I grab? Who do I grab? And I'm
You
so
panic.
good, and I am
Panic mode.
Panic at the disco.
and I'm so glad I
Panic.
didn't have your number.
Yeah, he would have told you to draft anybody that was not in the major leagues.
That's
Hey,
right.
you know who's ready right now is Chance Adams.
Yeah, but that was the other
hey,
thing. That was a problem.
wait a minute,
I
wait a
knew
minute.
everyone's farm team, and I'd be constantly
Wait a
doing.
minute, he
I'd
could-
be doing refreshes. Like, did they bring him up? Did they bring him up?
There's a trick for that, but I can't say it on air because my people listen. But the thing of it is that he can say whatever he wants to. I've won like
Yeah,
three-
yeah, yeah. No, he's the champ.
I'm the champ.
He's the champ.
I'm a legend.
Let's go, champ. That's the champ. All right, so we're going to exhaust baseball. We've been on the topic for a while. Ladies and gentlemen, I
we
know
have
you love
to?
it. We love it too.
Do we have
We're going to move into a little hoops, and
I'm
let's
going to
talk
the
about
game
OJ.
on Wednesday.
You lucky dog.
I'm in the owner seats, Dodger Stadium.
Are you?
Ladies and gentlemen, put the cameras on him. Look for him on FS1, I think it is.
That's what's up.
Yeah, who they're playing? Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Nice game. Nice game.
Yeah, Kirby Puckett. Rest in peace.
Shout out to Kirby. Yeah, one love to Kirby.
Favorite.
Hunter Reeves carving him up right now.
Oh, is he carving?
I love.
I love Hunter. I'm so happy he's back.
Me too.
I'm so happy he's
He's
back.
a real gamer. Love that dude.
Snuck him in my lineup.
All right, here we go. We got a caller that wants to call in and talk about what's going on in the
I'd have to
NBA.
jump back into this little league
You got to
thing.
get in.
We could do some weekly head-to-heads.
Next victim, welcome to the Ozone. What up?
What upper?
Next victim is hitting us from the desert. He's out in the desert, but he watches all the sports in the world. Longtime contributor to the Ozone, family friend. We got another Ozone family member in here with us now, Tipper. This is Mr. Troy Garrity. You know him as Jason the Agent on the hit show Ballers on HBO. He's sitting in with us. We just talked baseball for a good 30 minutes, and now it's time to move on to further topics in the Ozone. So we wanted to bring you in and talk about what in the hell is going on with this generation of kids in the NBA.
Man, it's a market. It's a business. It's not for the love of the game no more. These dudes is going for these contracts. Back in the 70s and the 80s, they played for the love of the game. You don't hear about
And they
these
paid for free.
And they played for free on charter planes and Chuck Taylors and Converse.
Yeah.
Now it's all about the market. It's nasty. It's really nasty right now.
And so what's your take on this whole Kyrie Irving, LeBron James scenario? Now this is like a big fat high school now.
Wait, who are we talking? You asking me?
I'm asking everybody. Everybody can chime in
I got
on
a
this.
comment on your buddy from the desert.
Fire it up. You can talk to him, Troy, me, Tipper, me, Troy.
Oh, hold up a
Next
second.
victim. Who's an Angel fan?
Oh, you're a Los Angeles of Anaheim? Listen, why should the owners pocket all the money and the kids have to play in Chuck Taylors and not get any pay? It's a business, and it needs to be respected as such. And I think as soon as the owners and everybody really realizes that and treats it as such, then then it'll calm down a little bit. But they need to get paid. I love LeVar Ball. I want that family to make $1 billion.
You sound like
Wow,
us.
this is unbelievable. This is what else I wanted to speak on.
Make your money. Like,
Yeah, they want to pimp his kids out, and they don't want him to be able to get anything
put
off
it this
of
way, if we were talking about basketball, we were talking about football, and you had a 3-year career and you were coming out with concussions and bodily injuries for the rest of your life, and most NFL and most NBA players have injuries that they sustain for the rest of their life.
It's true.
Yeah.
You need that money. And your career, maybe you have a good 10 years to earn. And most of these people aren't earning like that. So
Whoa.
Yeah,
in the
but-
NBA, you're averaging $5.4 million.
okay, you're averaging $5.4 million, but for the most of it, that has to become generational wealth. You're helping your parents
Yep.
who, sacrificed everything to get you where you are. You're putting some away for your kids. You're traveling.
Got to give some to the homies.
Yeah, that's what's up. You
Yeah.
got,
It is what's up.
No,
I
but
agree.
that's
Okay.
it.
So now what victim? What do you got? Because I got a stance on that too. What are you saying to that next victim?
I definitely agree that they need to get paid, but the money is watering down the game.
Ooh.
They want to sit out.
Speak
They
on
want to
it.
sit out.
Speak on it.
They want to
Speak
sit
on
out.
it. Let him speak on it.
Hey, the owners aren't playing. The owners are watering the business out. They're looking at it as, you know what, the way that basketball, I agree, football and other sports, they need to get paid. I agree with that. Basketball, they need to get paid too. But basketball is a sport that everyone can play.
I got a
So
solution
it's
for you.
overseas, it's everywhere. But with these contracts, it's completely out of control because you're getting kids that's coming out of now AAU ball that signed $1 million contract. And they get to the league and they're not ready for it. So the league is getting watered out.
Who is this dude? He's a genius.
Just going further back, these dudes in the 70s and 80s, they were hungry.
They were hungry.
They were
They were hungry.
for the
And
love of the game. These dudes now, by the time they get to the league and after their second year, they're playing for contracts. They're no longer playing.
Okay,
for
you
the
made your
love of
point.
the
You
game.
made your point. You made your
Let me
point.
float a solution. What if each NBA team played for half of the gate price of the purse of the stadium? What if every game had a wager on it?
Oh, but now you're up. Now you're talking to my alley. Can I get in?
So when we show up and they're like, "Yo, LeBron, you want to sit out and rest up for the finals?" And he's like, "Fuck no, I would need to win this. I need to win this extra truck. I need to get this Chevy Tahoe. Get my ass on the motherfucking court. Get me on the court. You get LeVar Ball in the stands like, well, get your ass back out on that motherfucker. Who gives a fuck if it was a foul? You play through that shit.
Play through it.
Oh my goodness!
I think that's the solution. I think if they just let us wager and let everybody get dirty.
Hey, listen, they're already getting dirty. Believe that.
But then all of a sudden you're gonna have players. They'll have shorter careers, but they'll solve whoever's on the phone. They're gonna solve his gripe.
Okay, but now check this out. My thing is this. I have no problem with the players getting their money. And I think that I said it on several occasions. Whoever it is that did that collective bargaining agreement for the NBA, I want them as my agent and my lawyer in the entertainment
CP3?
business. because CP3 is a monster. I know he was the player rep, but I don't know who the lawyers and who were that made up the language. All that is all good. I'm not even talking about the dough. I'm talking about the collective competitive spirit, because now everybody wants to be a part of the super team, and I'm seeing examples across the board. I'm going to play you guys something from a tennis player from Australia.
Man. Showtime was a super team. The Celtics
Showtime was not no super team.
No, Showtime was a super team because they were a cohesive unit.
Yeah, but they were a super team.
Worthy. But
that was homegrown. That was a homegrown super team. That wasn't them going to hand.
They didn't go buy guys.
Yeah, my biggest problem with it is that it's collusion on the player side. Now they're letting the players dictate where and what they're going to do, and I feel like if I'm an owner of a squad, I don't need that.
Yeah, but hold up, Golden State was homegrown, and no one could compete.
No,
and LeBron.
What are you talking about? Golden State was homegrown. No. Kevin Durant isn't homegrown to Golden State.
Okay, but Kevin Durant came there because Golden State changed the fabric of the game. Because
Kevin Durant came there because Kevin Durant didn't get the job done when he was up 3-1 and he choked in 3 straight games. That's why Kevin Durant went, which is why Peyton Manning roasted him on the ESPYs, which is why he had the bitter beer face.
He did that on purpose, though.
I believe it.
Afterwards.
I believe it.
He did it on purpose.
Yeah, him and Peyton were laughing at the after party. They were all in on it.
That's cool. But either way,
did it on purpose.
Either way it goes. No, he talked to him. He talked to him.
Oh, you talked to him. Oh, okay.
It was needed, and everybody felt it.
Yeah,
and everybody felt it.
But it speaks to what you're saying. That's the truth. It is. It's a problem. It's a problem. But that's where we're at, man.
This is where we are now. My point is this. You have I want to go backwards in the sense of the love of the game. I want to play you guys something from Australia.
I'm telling you, they need to play for money.
They do play for money. Problem is that you aren't you aren't in on the rig. Hold on a second. I want to play you guys something from Bernard Tomic from Australia, 24-year-old tennis player. Listen what he had to say.
So convince viewers watching you now who are saving up their money, who don't earn anywhere near what you earn, to buy a ticket to a tennis match to watch you play. Why should they bother?
Don't come, watch on TV. You don't have to pay anything. Just watch on TV.
And that's not all he said. Here's another one for you.
Only playing for the money.
Basically, yeah. I think, and I didn't come from a rich family. We had no money, and, I was 12 years old, 13 years old. Nobody knows this sort of life that I had. We came to Australia with, basically nothing.
Only playing
my man literally just said, and he's come out and said, and he's gotten fined by the tennis association now. I've rarely given my all on the court, yet I'm awfully impressed with how much I've been able to accomplish considering how little I've tried. Tennis chose me. It's something I never fell in love with throughout my career. I've given 100%. I've given also 30%. But if you balance it out, I think all my career's been around 50%. I haven't really tried, and I still achieved all this. So it's kind of amazing what I've done.
I don't want to hear all that.
Him, Kyrgios. Is there much of a difference between that and guys saying, listen, man, I don't want to play with LeBron no more. I don't want to play with Russell Westbrook no more. I don't want to play with Humpty Hump because it's here a hump, there a hump, everywhere a Humpty Hump. Is there much of a difference with these dudes between, hey, I do the Humpty Hump of white people? Do they know what we doing? We doing Humpty Hump. Puerto Ricans, Samoans. So besides the Humpty dance, is there a difference between these guys? Realistically, they're all doing it for the cheese. You see a handful of guys. I don't feel like Steph Curry's doing it for the cheese. I don't feel like Draymond Green is doing it for the cheese.
But these are the elite players.
This is what I'm saying.
They're paid out now. They're paid out now. They don't have to do it for the cheese no more.
But I don't think they ever have done it for the cheese.
I don't think so
Steph
either.
is just starting to get paid now.
Yeah, and he has a chip on his shoulder because people didn't believe that he was all world.
Yeah.
Man, you guys are just you in another planet. You're like, oh,
which one?
He just signed like what 140.
He just signed for $82 billion trillion.
Yeah, and you're like, man, he ain't. He's just getting paid. It's like
no, but
he knew what was happening.
Oh, he knew.
No, yeah,
but all these guys are getting paid. That's the point. This is all relative. It's not like I'm not saying that. To me, everybody should be getting paid because I come to the game, whether I watch at home or whether I watch at live. I come to watch them. I'm not coming to the game to watch the refs or to watch Dan Gilbert and the rest of the guys.
What you're saying is they shouldn't be flipped. They shouldn't be swapping out teams just because they don't feel like it no more or whatever.
Pretty much, that's what it comes down to.
Okay, but let me float this.
Float it. Float on.
Now, there are some teams and there are some players who, they have their publicists say one reason for leaving the team, but oftentimes it's some personal thing that doesn't really make the tabloids.
Of course.
Someone slept with someone's girl.
Yeah. I agree with that. We know that all to be true.
Right. So for someone to all of a sudden be like, you know what? I'm out. Just get me out of here.
Get me out of here. 2 championships in.
Yeah, you know what? That doesn't
make sense.
No, that's an emotional,
I agree.
That's a personal, like
funky.
something went down and he's like,
I got to get out of here.
I don't want to sit in this shit no more. I'm out. So, and you know, Kyrie, who I love, he had a little girl problem last year too with some shit on the internet and there's some things.
And he's young.
He may be like, give me the fuck
very
out.
young.
Yeah, like, get me the fuck out of here.
Right. It's Cleveland.
That
I ran through
has nothing
him.
to do with LeBron, though. That has nothing to do with LeBron and leaving Cleveland. That's his own personal shit that he has going on.
That's what I'm saying. But they're floating it out there like, oh, he doesn't want to play with LeBron anymore. And I mean, we are kind of talking about like, oh, people are leaving to make a super team. But really, the only people that did that was KD.
No, now everybody's doing it.
Who?
You got the OKC is doing it. They're trying to get Carmelo at this point.
But OKC didn't do it. They signed a free agent. They traded for.
But that's what it's all about. They all signed free agent. Kevin Durant went over there.
But
as a
hold
free
up,
agent.
Paul George and
Westbrook
don't constitute a super team.
Yeah, but they're trying to get Carmelo Anthony as we sit here.
As they should, but that's not. You know what that does for them? It advances them to the second round. Like that's not a.
I don't even know if it'll get him there because Westbrook has to pass the ball. He's used to being. Now he's Batman.
Now Westbrook can pass the ball, man.
No,
That dude icons. Always got a problem with Russell MVP Westbrook.
He sure does. He has a problem
He
with the real
is just
MVP.
a hater.
Hold on. Hey, I'm gonna tell you the worst thing about it. He doesn't even know. He's not even aware of.
I have
the
stats.
Anyways,
Stats.
So we got that. I mean, I'm surprised by the situation. I still think the moves that are being made in the NBA offseason are pretty fabulous. Minnesota is low-key one big man away, like a bulky big man.
Love that squad.
Away from really making some noise. They got a lot of talent.
Same with
I don't
Milwaukee.
think they even need a
Same
big
with
man.
Milwaukee.
I love Milwaukee.
I think they're the new coming of Golden State. They have all the tools just as Golden State has.
They
don't
sure
have
do.
a real solid big man.
Yeah, but what about the coach?
What about him?
Do you
Who's
think?
the coach? Thibodeau?
Yeah, I think so. Is it Tom Thibodeau?
From Chicago, right? I don't know.
I think that the coach makes a big difference in basketball in that sense because they don't have, with LeBron's situation, whatever, he's actually sometimes the coach.
Yeah.
In Minnesota.
Which is a problem.
Yeah, which can be a problem. But in Minnesota, you need some kind of scheme.
Player coach.
Yeah.
They don't have a D Wade there right now that's going to run the team. So Tom Thibodeau has a bunch of young kids that's on his squad that he can, he has the tools of winning. He brought it from Chicago. So he's all right in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
He has a bunch of kids to win that want to play.
I'm like Troy. I'm down with Milwaukee.
I'm like Troy in the sense that I want LeVar Ball and his family to get paid, and I'm tired of people acting like because he speaks out on it that there's something wrong with him. Now, everybody wants to sit around and take pot shots nonstop about how these dudes come from broken families and end up having problems because of that and have a problem learning how to be men and so on and so forth. Well, now here you have an African-American father who is just brazenly outspoken about what he has done and what he will do with his boys, and he knows how to push the media's buttons a la President Cheeto. And unfortunately, everybody's got a problem with him, even though this dude ain't doing nothing but having a good time taking care of his wife who got sick. So he's all true man in that sense.
ATM.
And now he ran up the numbers. And so if you got you a pair of Air Balls or Air Lonzos, whatever they were called, and if you got you a pair of that big baller brand, now he put it out and was like, yo, Nike, Adidas, if y'all want to holler, then if the number is right, we could talk about something. Why is anybody mad at LeVar or Summer League MVP Lonzo Ball?
Yeah, and the Lakers have sold out the season tickets now.
I think it's the best thing that's happened to basketball right now.
In a long time.
Well, at least in Southern California. Obviously, look, at the end of the day, sports is entertainment unless you know how to play. So, and there's nothing more entertaining than that. And I agree with everything that you said. This is a great dude who's unapologetic, and he's up there, and he's not trying to fit in any box other than his own. And you know what? When people do that, when they're their authentic self, and even if they're playing like exaggerated versions of themselves, they get fired upon.
They do.
But it's what makes us great. Like, those are the people that we need to identify, support, and love. You know, and they're like, they go home. Magic was saying they went to spend personal time with LeVar and the family and meet the wife. And
right.
LeVar mentors like kids throughout the
sure
whole
does.
neighborhood.
No doubt about it.
Not only is like mentoring and letting them play, but he's like cooking for them. Like, this house right here is a sanctuary for you. And what I know is, growing up, the few families that had that sort of parental statue or system in the house was a lifesaver to me and my friends.
Lifesaver, and it turns out a lot of good people.
And it's like, what are we gonna do? We're going over to Lonzo's house, and
and we gonna play hoops.
We're gonna
sit around,
play basketball all night.
We can play video games. We can play ping pong.
And
this is Terry's house. This is Terry's house. This is how Terry's house is.
Yeah,
and this is for a lot of kids. It does exactly that.
I love that, but it goes to the other thing. Most people have a problem with it. I think are like confused black people, but mostly white people.
Yeah.
It's the same issue with Puig. Puig comes up and they're like, oh, he doesn't know how to play baseball. I'm like, well, you fucking crazy, because obviously he can play baseball. You just don't like that he plays it differently from you.
It's true.
Puig is exactly what baseball needs. Just like the VARs are the balls. The balls are exactly what basketball needs. He's like, let me try to do this without a major corporation and do it myself.
It's what they need, but it's not what they want.
That's it. And
everybody in this culture is like, oh, entrepreneurial. I'm an entrepreneur.
And I'm going to go sign with somebody else.
Everyone should be like, let's support him 100%. Why not? Why not?
Yeah. Why not?
Why you can't?
That's what LeVar want to know. Why not?
That's what I'm saying.
Preach, brother.
You see him on the internet, he's dancing like Bill Cosby.
He's got Michael Jackson, Billie Jean playing with him and his family. This guy's, he's on the WWE, low-key ripped up at 55. You can front on LeVar if you want to.
Might lay tips.
Put the balls on you. Put the ones and twos out there for you.
Oh, he sure will. Look, you're doing something special if Shaq is calling you out.
Right.
Right.
I think it was just delivery. I think society does not like an overconfident man.
An overconfident black man.
No doubt.
An overconfident black man.
Because we have an overconfident man in the White House. That's a faux overconfident man.
An overconfident man who will tell you that he's black. It's one you can be.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Like,
that's
I like
a big
you
thing.
a lot. Just don't remind me that you're black.
Right. Let me like you in my way that I want to like you.
Right. Like, I think America was all good with Obama until he was like, Trayvon Martin could have been my son.
They didn't want to hear that.
White American was like, whoa.
Wait a minute.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Easy now. And then like,
we need to work on the prison reform scenario.
Yeah, like, no.
Yeah. Well, it's just like the mayor of New York. Right? Remember with
De Blasio?
Yeah. His son, when they were having that problem out there, and his son, he said, "This could be my son."
They loved De Blasio until his son came up with an afro.
Yeah, then they're like, "Wait a minute, what the hell is this?"
People are like, "He's a horrible mayor." I'm like, "Why?" I go, "Why?" They're like, "He just is." I'm like, running the city in the ground. I said, "How?" Well, can't afford to live there. He said, "Well, that's De Blasio,
that
right?"
happened before De Blasio.
What the fuck you talking about?
His son took the John Jay approach with the fro.
Sure did. Can't hear the curveball.
No, he was boisterous, and he was, he came out. He was like Cleo, because everything that he said, and even when he was coming off, when he first got into the limelight, it was like, dang, this dude is, he going hard. It's like, do I like him? Do I not like him? Like, you don't know. But everything that he's planned for his son, for Lonzo, has happened. No one really wants to believe or hear anything like that, to see, that type of stuff, come true.
That's true.
So,
it's true. And to go along with that point, though, to go along with what you were saying, OG, is that realistically, this is where I wanted to go with O.J. Simpson. Because all I did was hear people during O.J.'s parole hearing on Twitter and in real life sit around talk about how O.J. was talking too much. What I saw from the juice was him being unapologetic
And being the juice.
In being an old football stud.
Yeah.
And they wanted OJ to grovel and so on and so forth. And when I say they, I don't mean the parole board. I mean they, meaning the America that was on Twitter and social media talking about
You think they wanted him to grovel?
Oh, no, 100%. They wanted OJ to go up there and cry and please let me out and blah, blah, blah. And when OJ started to speak and humanize himself by saying, by the way, the property that I'm in jail for right now
was my property.
Was mine, and the state of California returned it to me. And I'm in jail and the property is at the crib.
Yeah, but there was an armed confrontation.
It was an armed confrontation.
That's the issue.
No.
Yeah.
And 9 years of his
could have been like,
and 9 years of his,
but they gave like,
give me the stuff back.
And 9 years of his time was taken for that.
I'm gonna put this jammy down your throat.
He didn't put the jammy.
Yeah,
See, that's what they see. You
but it doesn't.
fake news.
No, it doesn't matter. It does not matter.
It actually does matter.
No, it does not matter. What matters is OJ is what's wrong with America.
Preach. Yeah, this is what I want to speak on.
This dude is in jail for a different crime.
Exactly. 100%.
That's what we're saying.
That's
OJ, let's say that one more time. Please, just say that exact sentence one more to anybody who doesn't have to rewind it. Just say it one more again.
OJ is in jail for the wrong crime. Excuse me, let me reframe that. He got sentenced for the wrong crime. Because what OJ did was dumb and
was set up.
And would have got... Well, I don't care. It was just dumb.
It was dumb. It's very dumb.
He should have...
And he knows it was dumb.
Yeah, he was dumb.
He would have been penalized for that, regardless if it was his stuff or whatever. But he's getting... he got jail time because he killed Ron Goldman and Nicole. But the problem...
Were you there?
Come on, man.
Oh, gee, were you in the bushes?
This motherfucker.
At a young age?
Put it this way.
I know you was in Santa Monica, but Brentwood?
He got off, but then he lost the civil court, the civil case for $30 million.
33.
So here's the problem with the judicial system. Black America can't trust it for the right reasons. So OJ will never have a karmic or an emotional trial, right? Because it's all fucked up from the history of the judicial system in the country.
Right.
In one court, he was found innocent or acquitted, which is
by a jury of his peers,
which is different than innocent. Then in a civil court, he was found guilty and he had to pay. And then in another charge, in a whole separate incident, he was found guilty for the crime of
the first crime. Yeah, no doubt about it. That he was acquitted of, but was not found innocent of.
Right. So the system is fucked.
There's no two way. You're preaching to the choir. You talking to two black men and a Mexican in here. So you talking. This is 100% what it is. We agree. My point is that the other side of the reason that OJ represents America is it represents more of what you said before. Everybody was fine with the juice as long as he didn't remind them that he was black.
That's right.
OJ was whooping ass.
I'm not black. I'm OJ.
Hey,
right.
No.
He was out there whooping ass.
You missed your cue. Okay.
This is true, though. This is how everybody was.
It's true.
It's how everybody was.
Yeah.
He was still whooping ass. That was public knowledge. He was wife beaten and doing and being an adulterer and this, that, and the other. Nobody had a problem with it until the blackness started to come out in ways that were, pronounced. But
the blackness didn't come out until the trial when he was
but that's when everybody had a problem with him.
Well, no, yeah, and
that's my point.
When he was on the 91 freeway.
Yeah,
that's true too. With him and his boy. This is AC. You know who I am.
Where is AC?
Yeah,
I was surprised AC wasn't on the scene.
Yeah. He's in the Best Friend Hall of Fame.
He's the ultimate homie.
They got his ass up there. Pedro got a curl on his bus, and AC got the key to the truck. Because that motherfucker, I'd have been like, wait, you did what? And you want me to do what? Hold up,
man. Wait.
Yeah.
AC was like, get in.
Let's go. Where we going, Juice?
I got a boat in the marina stacked with cash. We're going to take you down to Mexico where no one will recognize you.
AC is the homie.
AC is a homie.
The best friend Hall of Fame. That is hilarious.
It's true.
It's real.
BFF.
He's BFF. That's as real as it gets.
For sure.
That is a real. You can't ask for nothing. You can't get more ride or die than that.
You can't.
No.
AC put his own life on. He was
did.
willing. He
such
was willing.
such a good friend. When he pulled up to the house, OJ's son was on the block going, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" The son was like, "Go to jail, go to jail." And AC was like, "Shut up, son. Fuck up. Back up.
Like, hell no.
Fuck up." He's like, "OJ, don't you get out the goddamn car until the snipers are out the tree. Shut the motherfucking gate.
Let me get out first.
Yeah.
Juice. Let me get out
Juice,
first.
Orenthal. Fuck up. You thirsty?"
Oh my
You thirsty
God.
like that.
This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Ozone.
But here's the other
Raw.
shit. Here's the other shit. This is some real perverse shit in our culture too, but I think this is universal. As long as OJ was paying the bills,
Life was good.
that woman's family was like, "Oh man,
Hey!
Exactly.
he can't really." Oh, so he maybe made a mistake. Or,
Oh yeah, so he bruised her up.
I wonder
whooped
what
the little ass.
I wonder what she did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must have been
Yeah,
something.
something
They'll
must-
work it out.
As long as that money is flowing, but then once the money's like, they're like, you know what? It's time for your ass to go make some license plates.
And then on top of that,
Yeah.
now as soon as the trial happens, this trial, the probation hearing happens, they're the first people talking about, yeah, we're still looking for our 33 million. Hold on a second, man. Hold on a second. Come on, victim. Tell me something. God forbid anybody in any of our families has something terrible and tragic like that happen. All the cheese in the world is not going to change that scenario.
No. I get that. That's some vengeance shit. And by the way, that family lost an earner. When you have a child, you're investing in this. A good child is supposed to be a retirement package. So you are. It's true.
I don't think she was ever going to pick up 33 million. But
It
I
doesn't,
hear what you're
but
saying.
it doesn't matter if you step on my family. Well, you're not just going to go eat good because you took away part of my assets.
I agree with that.
You're going to have to pay that.
But there's a mentality
And
shift
he was
there.
found guilty. You know
Of
why?
that?
Because he did it.
We don't have any videotape to say that. We have a lot of videotape that show police officers shoot people in the back and all
you
that
know
kind of
what?
stuff. We haven't seen no
You
video
know what
of OJ doing anything.
I don't smoke weed, but if I
neither.
did, this is what would blow my mind. We're all guilty.
Oh,
We are-
is anybody really innocent?
We are all complacent in those murders because this country, let's give celebrities a pass.
Well, I thought you were
Gives
talking about
money a
something else
pass.
because I wasn't talking about us all being guilty with the Juice, because the Juice went out there and whooped ass and did whatever else he did. Ultimately, in my opinion, really what we have to talk about is there is body camera footage that just came out of two cops in Baltimore planting evidence. There's footage that just came out all the time of people getting killed.
And they act like it's a surprise.
But then you have this woman that got killed. Now something might actually change because you have the woman that just got killed up in Minnesota. But ultimately, this ties back. Let me finish. This ties back to the Juice because ultimately, like Troy said, you can't knock it if it's profit. If the money is rolling in the United States, nobody's got anything to say about anything.
Dog, we elected Donald Trump.
Are you kidding? How can you even imagine even going into a booth and even marking something like that? That's ridiculous.
All right,
This
you guys,
is a
this is
man-
a different podcast.
Okay.
No,
So
but
look,
it's the
we're
same
talking
theory.
with-
I
It's
agree.
money. He ain't done shit with his life, really.
Oh no, well, except for live a very privileged life for 70 years.
He inherited his money and he licensed his name. He never wrote a book.
Okay, what that's got to do with sports? This is my point. What I'm saying is when we get back to the world of O.J. Simpson and when we get back to the world of all of these kids who are following this example of I can flip and flop because I have the cheese to, America's got to get its act together. Ultimately, this is what it comes down to.
This comes down to being
That's a
privileged.
big leap. We're going from Orenthal, Simpson to kids flipping and flopping. On
Not
the
really,
FBC.
because nobody was more powerful in the sports world than Orenthal James Simpson at one point. And really, because of that, he received a pass for a lot of stuff. Now, I'm not saying that you go from shooting a broke jumper and losing a game 7 to stabbing somebody. That's a leap. But what I am saying is that same culture, just like this kid we just played the clip of, all of that pervades society so that the money has this elevated level so that it is worshipped in and of itself.
No doubt.
And there's never enough. I mean, like I said before, people were way more interested and outraged about OJ than they are about Philando Castile getting shot by a cop in the car when he told him he was about to reach for his ID.
With the baby in the car.
With the baby in the car who could have got hit. People are way more serious about Beyonce and Jay-Z having some twins than they are about paying their own child support. There's a serious issue that I think the reason I bring it up is for us being in the media and for us talking about sports, because this is a scenario where art can imitate life, and a lot of these guys have a lot to stand up to, ourselves included. Speaking of which, HBO Ballers, season 3, debut last night. Next Victim, I'm assuming you caught the broadcast.
Absolutely. Definitely. Twice.
Do you have any questions for Golden Globe nominee Troy Garrity here, who me personally, I've told you this before.
I won a Peabody.
Let's say,
wow, nice.
That's one more Peabody than everybody else in this room has. And I tell you, I actually I think, to me, the best work that I saw you lay down was on that show, Boss. Man, I loved you on Boss. You were so good on Boss.
Well, that's one of those, Boss was one of those shows where it's just the writing. The writing was the best I've ever read. So
Really?
when the
Better than
writing,
Ballers?
No. Don't take credit away from yourself, man, because that's like giving a guy a camera and saying,
wait.
go take pictures. And then, it's about, you got the material, but then you did
look
something with
at
the material.
icons with the big up and like the
Yet still contrarian.
You know what I mean?
Yet still contrarian.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm giving love.
No, you're right. You're right, Terry. I'm a very good actor. And I elevated that material. I'll tell you what. You want me to be proud of myself?
Be proud.
This is what no one ever recognizes, and this has actually been a conscious effort on my part in my career. I made a decision early on, out loud. I said I want to be a character actor, and
what people don't talk about. Side note, I want to jump in there. Troy Garrity, when he gets danced up and so on and so forth, I've seen him on set before. I say, damn, man, you should be a leading man. What are you doing? And he has a pedigree. If you can look him up, he has a pedigree and a lineage to do exactly that. So this is a very humble thing he's saying.
But I also wanted to just play all sorts of different types of roles. And I actually hurt my career by turning down a lot of roles that I found just didn't reflect an interesting part of myself. So I was very proud that I did. My first movie was Bandits, where I played sort of an emotionally sort of special stuntman with Bruce Willis and Billy Bob Thornton,
with the best still picture of all time, maybe, that I've ever seen.
And then I dodged all the similar kind of roles after that. And the next thing I did was Barbershop. And I remember my agent was like, "Why you want to don't do this? This is like a black urban comedy."
Black movie.
Yeah. And I was like, exactly. Right? And ever since then, whenever I go to TSA at the airport, they're like, "Nope, coming through." Like you look, if the black community gives you some respect, then you're a lucky man. Because
that's real talk.
No, it's true. And then my next movie was Soldier's Girl, which was a true story about an American soldier who fell in love with a transsexual and was murdered for it. So it was totally different.
I got to see that.
Yeah, and that's why I got my nominee.
That's a nod, right?
I lost to Pacino. I shouldn't have lost to Pacino.
So would you say Ballers is like a role that's like just speaking to you? This is you, like on and off the camera. This is you. This is your most comfort zone in, as far as one of your characteristics. Would it be the Ballers?
I think Ballers is probably my comfort zone because I prefer. I can be very dark, but I prefer to be light, and my character has to keep it light. So in that regard, it's sort of the easiest. But I'm not a wheeler, a dealer, and so it's different. But I just really enjoyed the script and the concept, and everybody that's involved. This was the lucky part because you don't know this going in, but everyone on the show is super cool and sort of not really Hollywood. I mean, Dwayne's pretty Hollywood, but but everyone else is like, we don't sit, but not even like we don't sit around. We don't sit around on set even with Dwayne and talk about Hollywood.
Or emoting.
Like what we're doing right now is
what we do on set.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
especially talking baseball.
So the script gives you more, would you say, just like freedom? to do whatever.
Yeah, it does. It gives me. I mean, it depends. Some days I just want to improvise and do whatever I want. Some days it's freedom, and some days it's really hard. Like it just doesn't make sense to me, and the words stop meaning anything.
The impact and the meaning that you want them to have.
And you want to vibe with someone, who you're working with. And, I did a scene with Omar. I think I drove him crazy because I wasn't really getting it until like we had done all his shots, and then it flipped on to me, and I was like, oh, now I get it, and I got to do the whole scene in a different way.
You'll see that. This will be a scene that he steals. But I love working with Troy. It's a great experience. Last thing we want to cover on the Ozone. Glad to have everybody on. Next victim, I just want to get your prediction real quick, just in case you need a drink, brother. Real quick, I want to get your prediction of what's going to happen this weekend. We got the big fight out at the Barclays. You got Adrian Broner, AB, the problem, who has a lot of problems, fighting Mikey Garcia. What do you think is going to happen and why?
I got to go with Mikey Garcia. I think Broner's last two fights, he just wasn't there. First of all, he couldn't even make weight. So I still think that Broner is not taking boxing serious. Like our good friend on the podcast used to say, it's like you can't play boxing. You have to get out there and you have to do it.
Yeah.
So I think with Broner, he's still playing with the boxing, and the competition is getting a little bit more fierce. And he has the skills. Broner has the skills, but he's just not. He has to get knocked on his ass and lose in order to.
Well, he's already done that, though. Yeah. He's already done that.
Okay, another time.
Next victim. You're always welcome on the Ozone. We appreciate your contribution. Thanks for chatting around with us, and we will catch you soon, my friend.
All right. Love y'all. Be easy.
Be safe.
Wow. Yeah, who you going with this weekend?
I'm going with Garcia. Man, I'll never go with Broner. Broner's not focused. He spends too much time playing games, trying to throw money around and be imitation Floyd.
You know what? My big thing, and he definitely is the clown prince, and he's lost his last two fights despite the fact that they gave him that fight, that last fight especially. Problem I have, that's the main problem that I have with him. But he was effective, and he was a really good fighter before he moved up to 147. This fight is taking place at a lower weight class. And if he is forced to make weight, I don't know if he's going to make weight on Friday. If he makes weight, he's effective at 140 because he's got heavy hands at 140. Mikey is legit. There's no two ways about it.
He's a boxer.
But at the same time, the lights are going to be bright on this one. And I'm very interested to see what happens.
140. That's like a little biscuit.
That is literally the size of one lamb.
With no syrup.
I'll eat a little 140 or 140 pound. Listen, I don't know who's going to win this fight because I don't know who Garcia is, but I know this much, and everyone should Google this. Broner was leaving, I think it was Costco, and he was buying some stuff, and the lady said, here's your change, and he held the change.
I saw that.
And he threw it, and he said, I don't want no fucking change. He threw it in the sky, which is like the biggest prick move ever.
Right. Total prick move.
But I watched it like 40 times.
Like that bad accident.
So on the strength of that ignorance, I want Broner to win.
Really?
Yeah, just because you said, Garcia.
the contrarian. Like it's contagious.
You see that?
I got you.
Oh, my God.
I reeled you in.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a lively edition of the Ozone. Thank you so much for coming through, Troy OG.
Man,
that was awesome.
And you even refused the car. That was so mean of you. But it was nice of you for our budget's sake.
I don't need Terry to pick me up.
Why? You act like I can't drive. What's wrong with that? Why you gotta act like that?
No, it's easy. It took me like 10 minutes.
Oh, man, I appreciate it.
One last thing.
Well, lay it on us.
Lonzo Ball. It's the truth. At the Summer League.
He looks fantastic.
You know what?
In
My
the
only
Summer
thing
League.
about him still is
Of
that
course.
Is the jumper.
Yeah, it's his jumper. I don't know if he's
His
going to be able to
game
get it
is
out.
ridiculous.
His game, he's nice.
Man.
I don't need the jumper.
You need
You might not need. You might be able to Jason Kidd it low key.
But the jumper will come in when it's needed. But if
They have pieces. The Lakers have pieces.
Go ahead and try to cover him. Try to block him on the jumper. Guess what? He's putting that ball up by the basket.
He sure is. And
And
he,
I don't-
on
I
the
don't
money.
think- I
And
don't
Brandon
even-
Ingram is looking nice.
By the way,
Yeah.
I don't even think he needs the jumper.
Everybody
'Cause
needs
way
the jumper.
Yeah, but he cuts that basket in a real lovely, lovely way.
And he can finish at the rim.
Very impressive.
The only thing, and especially with young players, these young guys, is that they don't have their strength yet, and that's the only thing that might be able to slow him down a little bit. Because
Well, I don't think they're obviously not going to do it this year. But Brandon Ingram, you see KCP, he's got his little bit more man muscle, and he's speaking with some confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Like those two dudes next year,
along with Lopez.
Yeah, well, Lopez is great, but I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he'll be. I don't think these guys are gonna find it this season.
No, but they're
gonna take them a
make
minute.
the playoffs.
But there's gonna be some real shine, and they could make the playoffs with Lopez and KCP.
There you go. Going to leave you with a quote here from the great Aristotle. And it is that educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. Thanks for rocking with us, folks. This has been the OZone. We'll see you soon on uninterrupted.com.
OZone.
I'm just living the dream. I'm in love with the lights. This is